This is Gail Kovac with Gresham Barlow School District. This is Summer School High School Credit Recovery, Data Reasoning and Learning Target number 5. I can find the mean, median, mode, and range of a data set. So we are looking for some summary statistics of a data set, 3 different ways to find an average and one to find a measure of spread, which is range. So we've got our first example over here, and it has 9 different digits ranging all the way from 0 to 9. And we want to try and find some of the averages of those numbers. We're going to start with the mean average, which is your fair share value. So if you put all those numbers together and then they share all their values and then you divide them up evenly among those 9 different numbers, what value would they each have? So to find the mean average, you are going to add up all of those 9 numbers and then divide by how many numbers there are. Divide by 9. So on my nifty calculator, I'm going to do 0 plus 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 3 plus 6 plus 7 plus 9. And I get a total of 32. So just adding all these together. And you get a total of 32. So now 32 is not my mean average. That's just how much the total is. That's how much they have all together. So I'm now going to divide that by my number of numbers. I've got 9 numbers here. So I'm going to now divide that by 9. That's 32 divided by 9. And I get 3.55. So on average, I've got about 3.55. So that's the mean. The median is when the numbers are in order from smallest to largest. What is the number directly in the middle? So let me erase this so far. And I want to find the number in the middle. So luckily, these numbers are already in order from smallest to largest. So I'm just going to start canceling some on either side, the edges here, just kind of until I get to the very middle one. Sometimes it's easy to see the middle, and sometimes it's really not easy. So in this case, 2 is my median because that is the number in the middle. Your mode is the number that occurs the most frequently, the one that pops up the most often. I've only got 1 0, I've only got 1 1. I do, however, have 3 2s. I think that's probably the largest number of a value that I have. I've got 1 3, 1 6, 1 7, and 1 9. Yes, 2 is my mode because it is the number that happens the most often. And then lastly, your range. That is the distance from the top to the bottom. So my numbers range from 0 all the way up to 9. So how many numbers does that span? How far does that go? So you can do top or the maximum, subtract the bottom or the minimum to find your range. So my range here is 9 because the 9 minus 0 equals 9. So my range goes all the way from 0 to 9. That spans across 9 spaces. Let's try it again for this new set over here. Firstly, I want to find the mean average of this data set. I still think I have 9 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I've got 8 numbers this time, not 9. So I've got 8 different numbers, and I want to start by finding the mean average. So I'm going to add up all of these 8 different numbers, and then I'll divide by 8. That's their fair share value. In fact, the mean is not really mean. It's very nice. It's your fair share. All right, calculator, we're going to do 11 plus 2 plus 5 plus 6 plus 3 plus 1 plus 8 plus 7, and we get a total of 43. Now, 43 is just the sum. I want to evenly spread that out among 8 numbers again, so I'm going to do that 43 divided by 8 because there are 8 different numbers here. So let's see what we get now. Divide by 8. And I got 5.375 exactly. 5.375. Now, it doesn't specify here how many decimal points you want, so if you wanted to just say 5.4 rounding up, that's acceptable. I wouldn't just say 5. I would keep, at least 1 decimal point, but this terminates after the 5, so I'm just going to keep all of them. That's fine. All right, now we are going on to the median, and that is the number in the middle. And you might think, oh, well, I think the middle is here, but your numbers have to be in order first, and they are not in numeric order in this example. So I'm going to have to put them in order from smallest to greatest first. All right, my smallest number here is 1. And then my next smallest is a 2. My next smallest is 3. Then I have 5, I believe. 5. I've got 6, 7, 8, and 11. 6, 7, 8, and 11. All right, so now I have all of them in order. Now I need to find the number in the middle. So I'm going to start canceling off on either side. So remove 1 on the left and right, remove 1 on the left and right, remove 1 on the left and right, and uh-oh, I've got 2 numbers in the middle. Oh dear. I think I need to find the middle of those 2 numbers. So I have 2 numbers that are competing for median. I've got a 5 and I've got a 6. I need to know what number is halfway in between those 2 numbers. And halfway between 5 and 6 is 5.5 or 5.5. So my median is 5.5. Now, although that's not actually a value in that data set, it's still halfway between the middle. So it's the middle of the middle two numbers. So it's okay if one of your numbers given wasn't 5.5. I mean, your mean is not, a number given either. It just has to be the very, very dead center of the data set. All right, so now we're going to move on to mode, and mode is the number that occurs the most frequently. And let's see, I've got 111, I've got 1, 2, I've got 1, 5, 1, 6, 1, 3, 1, 8. Oh, I have just one of each number. I don't have one that occurs more frequently than any of the others, in which case we've got no mode. There are no modes in this case because they all occur the same number of times. They all just pop up once. Now you could also have more than one mode. In the first example, we had only one mode. But if you had maybe double 11s and double 5s, then you would have 2 modes. Both 11 and both 5 occur the most frequently, and they pop up the same number of times. So you can have multiple modes as well. You can have no mode, 1 mode, or lots of modes. And last one is the range, and the range is the distance from the smallest to the largest number. So my largest number here is 11, and my smallest number here was a 1. So what is the distance from 11 to 1? Those are 10 spaces apart. So the range here is 10. If you were to draw these as a dot plot on a number line, those dots from smallest to biggest would span across 10 values. So mean is your fair share average. Add them all up and divide by how many numbers you have. Median is the number in the middle. Make sure that your data set is in order first. And if you have 2 numbers competing for median, you have to find the middle of those 2 numbers. Mode is the number that occurs the most frequently. You could have none if they all pop up the same. You could have just one, or you could have multiple modes. And range is the distance from the minimum to the maximum values. You can find that by subtracting. All of these are ways to describe a data set.